Alright, so the last part of this, I told you about street evangelism, I told you about the arts, the arts trip. Oh, I didn't finish about bacon. That's sad. Okay, so the Bezalel Arts, I always want to say Institute. The Bezalel Arts Council of Ontario ended up being a made-up thing by our leaders. Bezalel was actually in the Bible, well, is in the Bible, and he was this dude that just loved Jesus, and he was the first guy to be filled with the Spirit, and he was an artist. But they ended up making up Bezalel Arts Institute of Ontario, and the acronym ended up spelling out bacon. So we were Canadian bacon. They ended up lying to us for like a lot. Like the two, I think it was like the 2 weeks that we were planning things, and then for like the first like 3 days of the trip, which was hilarious. Like we were just like, dude, what? Yeah, they made it up and they made it spell bacon, because who doesn't love bacon? But yeah, so that was my trip. Talk about human trafficking and sex workers. We talked about street evangelism. We talked about Joe. Oh, I didn't tell you about. Okay, one more thing. We had a worship night. There's a Salvation Army, and Joe kind of works out of there, but no, actually I don't think he works out of there. But like he knows a bunch of people that work at the Salvation Army. Actually, I can't remember. But the Salvation Army does programs for the community too, and so they have like programs for kids. They have like game night. I think they have game nights. I don't remember. But then they have worship nights, and they have just a bunch of cool things. And so we were part of that, which is cool because half of our team was worship team, and so we had these kids lead us in worship, and it was really cool because there were a bunch of them. They at the program they would like teach them instruments and stuff and how to sing and whatever, and then they would just be a part of this worship team. They were good. They were good. It was I think the ages it was a pretty big gap of ages. Like it was I think like maybe like elementary age. Maybe I think the youngest might have been like 9. There was a girl who was pretty young. She was singing. She was cute. And then up to like, I don't know, maybe high school age, middle school and high school. And so it was really cool to see them do that. And then we took over and we played. And that was just really cool to just kind of share that experience with them. With the kids just of the community. They go out and pick them up, and then they go out and drop them off. And it's just a safe place for them to kind of do something big. And yeah, I think it's really cool. Not that you cared. But, yeah, so that's what we did. That's what we did on our trip. We did that for a week. And, man, God was moving. I think, just to kind of wrap this video series up, if that's what you want to call it, I think the biggest thing for me, the biggest impact on me, I think I set out, I mean, I've been on mission trips before, and I know that every time I go, I set out going to, you know, help change people's lives, be an instrument, be God's hands and feet. And I always, you know, I know that. But I also know that, you know, when you're out on those trips, you learn a lot. And you gain a lot, and you see things that you can't unsee. And you see things that after you see them, God puts a passion in your heart, and God gives you the calling. God gives you an urgency about it. And I think a big thing for me with this trip, because it wasn't, like I've had extremes of trips. I've had, like with the groups of people that I've been with, because I've had trips where they were complete strangers, and I worked with them for 2 weeks. I had my last trip, the Philippines trip, was a group of my best friends who I have grown up with, probably literally from like 7 years old, probably from the womb, maybe, because my parents knew all of them. And then this trip was kind of like, you know, worship team, we knew each other, we're pretty close, we saw each other pretty often, but we didn't really know too much about each other. And so for me, this trip was a lot of like relationship building within the church and people that I spend so much time with. And I always say that the worship team is like a family. I always say that our church is pretty much a family. But this trip for me definitely brought me close with a lot of people. Actually, one of the people from the trip I've hung out with every day since we've gotten back, which is really funny. I'm literally at her apartment every day, or she's on campus with me every day, or we text each other every day. But the cool thing with that, it's not just a friendship, it's a lot of accountability. Now that we know each other's stories, now that we know, where we've come from, we know how to hold each other accountable, we know how to pray for each other, we know how to encourage each other. We know that a bunch of us are coffee addicts. We know how to just... It's cool. For me, it was a lot of relationship building because, I've been around for 2 years, but this year I've been really involved. And so, knowing that I have people that care and knowing that I have people around me, kind of like you guys, kind of like how you guys have been there for me since the womb. But, yeah. Afterwards now it's... I don't know, God's been working in a lot of cool ways through these friendships that I have, with holding me accountable to things, and being on the front line of trafficking, and talking to sex workers. That kind of reignited a passion in me for human trafficking. And yeah, that trip was definitely interesting. Living in living in a house with 18 people. It's good times. But if you have any other questions, if you kind of are wondering about other things about the trip, feel free to call me, text me, email, tweet, Facebook, hunt my mom down. My mom can tell me. If you want to know anything else, I really appreciate the support. I really appreciate the prayers that you guys have sent out. I appreciate just everything. You guys really made this trip happen for me, especially in the short amount of time that I had to raise the money. And you guys definitely came through. I'm really thankful for you guys. And thank you so much for supporting me, not just through this, but even just being away at college. I think, I don't know if you guys know this, but I tend to get homesick a lot, and that's why I stick with his house a lot, because it kind of gets my mind off of it. Even if they're family, kind of like a family for me. Nothing beats having your own family and your own church family. But so I tend to get homesick a lot, and one of the things that I always think about is you guys, knowing that when I go home, you guys are there, and you guys always support me, and you guys are always around to encourage me, love me, and guide me. And so yeah, I'm very thankful for you guys. Honestly, like, this trip couldn't have happened for me if you guys didn't come through. And don't think that I wasn't appreciative because I couldn't get home. I'm sorry this was so late. I'm sorry this thank you and this appreciation is so late, but I really do appreciate you guys. I love you all. You guys are all like second parents to me, or brothers and sisters, or yeah. And so thank you so much. I love you guys. I miss you, and I will hopefully see you soon. I'm not gonna be around much because I'm going to California for a job, but I will make sure that I make the time count. So thank you so much again. Thank you for the support, and I love you guys. I miss you. I will hopefully see you soon. All right, bye.